In this video, I'm going to talk briefly about goals and why you need a goal and why you probably have goals that don't actually mean much to you, and hence why you haven't been able to achieve as much as you've wanted to in your life so far. I'm also going to break down what to do instead if you don't have anything meaningful to go after in your life right now, because you just don't know what's meaningful to you. And that's all good, especially if you're in your 20s and you're watching this, and maybe you're even in your teens still, you're going to school. That's okay, brother. So, goals. We all need them. We all have them, whether we're conscious of them or not. We are teleological beings, meaning we constantly seek out a target. A great book is called Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz that talks about how the brain is constantly seeking its next target, constantly seeking what is the next thing I'm going to go after. And so for you, you need to ask yourself, am I conscious or unconscious of the targets that I'm going after right now? A lot of you, unfortunately, are going to answer unconscious. Some of you may even believe that you have goals, but truly you don't. You have written down something on a piece of paper and never looked at it again. Or you've made New Year's resolution, whatever that might be for you. So, here it is. You, first and foremost, need to figure out what is meaningful to you. And I do not mean become a millionaire by 25, like I did. In my 20s and in my teens, I got hooked on this idea that I needed to be a millionaire by X time. I needed to have X cars. I needed to have X businesses, and yada, yada, yada. And man, it was just such a load of societal crap that I got bought into, that I saw people on YouTube, I saw people on Instagram saying that this was something that I needed. And I bought it because the idea was there, the lifestyle was there, the freedom was there. But gents, if you don't have any meaning behind that, we all want money. Money's not meaningful. The reason we have money is to go and do something. And so if you don't know what you want to go and do with that money, the money is meaningless. And the only time that I understand that people really go after money beyond the need to survive is because they are so caught up in the status game of wanting to have the money, or wanting to be able to say they're a millionaire, or wanting to be able to say I retired at X time. And so they get obsessed with that, and that's fine. And they might have went and built the business, or did the exit or whatever. That's fine. But I'm telling you, that's not going to be the way that you're going to live a fulfilling life. And so you need to have meaningful things to go after. You need to know what is meaningful to you, and you cannot have society tell you that this or this or this is meaningful to you. You need to come up with that for yourself. You can get inspiration, you can get ideas, you can get advice, but you need to make the decision, and it needs to feel from the inside out. You need to feel like it is an intrinsically motivated decision to go after this thing, first and foremost. And so how do you do that? Well, first thing is audit what you're currently going after. Audit, what have I deemed important in my life? Have I saw becoming a millionaire as this important thing, but I don't know why? If you don't have an underlying reason why you're doing something, it's likely coming from an external source. Something that has been said to you, something that you heard, something that you saw, and you just said, you know what? That's what I'm gonna go after. And that's a reason you are not achieving what you were achieving, okay? First and foremost. I think I've said first and foremost a few times now. Working on the long form game here. So, after that, once you've audited yourself and got rid of anything that is not yours, anything that society has given to you and you've accepted, which again, I've done that, you then need to find something that has some deeper meaning, something that actually lights you up from the inside out, not just status signaling, not just this shallow, I need the money. Because again, if you don't have a reason to go after money, you will not go after money. Okay, again, if you're in the gutter and you need to just survive, then yes, if you go back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you must have financial security, and that is a need. And until you solve that for yourself and you feel like you are caught up, then you will use that as a strong driver and a strong motivation. But as soon as you feel like you're surviving and you have financial security, that will stop becoming something that is a motivation or a driver for you. And then you need to switch into something meaningful. Some sort of task, some sort of project, some sort of mission, some sort of purpose that allows you to go and chase a bigger goal or a bigger objective. And so if you're unsure what that is, then you need to go and explore. Go and figure things out that you didn't otherwise know. Explore new topics, try new skills, dance in different industries, whatever that might be. Expand your surface area of awareness. You don't know what you don't know. And if you're in your teens and if you're in your 20s and you're wondering why you don't know what to do with yourself, it's because you haven't tried enough. Like this stuff doesn't come automatically. For example, I've tried my hand at 24 different jobs or businesses by the time I was 24 years old. And I started when I was 13, so that's more than one business or job a year for 11 years, 12 years. You aren't doing enough. In your 20s and your teens should be for exploring and trying different skills, different topics, different industries, different tastes and flavors of the world. Travel, go and do things. Go experience the world. The world has a lot to offer. And in that, you will learn about yourself, first and foremost, and then you will learn about what you like and you don't like, and what mission resonates with you, what cause might jump out at you. For me, it took me 8 years of my self-development journey to realize that I wanted to help other men become better versions of themselves, to self-actualize. And now, if you were to look at me, what I got going on and my mission, it's very clear, but that took, truthfully, 8 to 10 years to distill that information all the way down to helping men build brotherhood and become their best self. And I've nailed that now, but that took so much trial and error, exploring myself, the world, different industries, different jobs. What do I want to do specifically within that? But now I have that meaning. But you need to go out and try stuff. And this comes off the back of another point that I want to make an entire other video on for the purpose of just like life in general. But when you go out and you explore and you try different jobs, you try different industries, you try different skill sets, you learn about different topics in the world, you become interesting. And this concept of being fucking interesting is such an important concept that most men fail to grasp. And it's the reason why you don't have a great dating life. It's the reason why you don't have great friends around you. It's the reason why you aren't where you are right now. Because you haven't done enough. You haven't went and explored the world. You haven't went and explored yourself. You haven't seen what was out there. And so when you're having conversations with people, the only thing you can think of is fucking the last reel you saw on Instagram, or some brain rot on TikTok, or the drama that happened at the club the other night. Like, no one gives a fuck. You don't even give a fuck. So no, like, it's astounding how little people actually know about the world because they're so caught up in the drama, the day-to-day events that are happening. Instead of thinking bigger, thinking about the ideas, exploring themselves, expanding their consciousness, expanding their awareness. And so, go be interesting. And as a default, you will start to figure out what is meaningful to you. And as a byproduct, you then become someone worth being around. And that is where the other video I will make eventually on one of the ways I believe to have a great dating life and attract amazing women is to be interesting and yada, yada, yada. So, to go find meaningful goals, you need to go and figure out what is meaningful to you. And in order to do that, you need to test yourself by putting yourself out there and expanding your scope of what you know, what you have tried, what you've experienced, the hardships you've gone through, the causes, the missions, the problems in the world that you've seen aligned with. And once you have that, then it just comes down to actually holding on to that goal and making it something that is worthwhile to go after. And that's shaping what it is, really building the story around it, really building like the mission, the objective, the vision for it. Again, like I said, I've been on my own journey of self-development and self-actualization since I was 15 years old. I'm 27 now, so 12 years. I've been running Actualize now for 3. And it took me these 3 full years after the 9 years of doing it just on my own accord to fully refine what I'm here for and the goal, the North Star, the biggest thing that I could think of for this business. But it started at V1. And so once you have this thing, you need to start like, it's a moldable, shapeable thing. Now you have your guiding goals, right? Like get into shape, make X amount of money so you can do X and Y, like those things that are along the way. But really what I'm talking about here is you want to figure out what is the big North Star, the thing that you can go after for potentially the rest of your life, or at least for this next chapter in your life, that wakes you up and forces you, this is a key thing, forces you to become your best self in pursuit of this North Star that you set for yourself in the thing that you found meaningful. But you first have to find something meaningful, and then you have to make a goal around it so big that it calls upon your best self. The last part of this is in the interim of finding all this stuff out and exploring yourself and getting a goal that is meaningful and making it big, is you want to figure out how to become your best self. Your main goal in your teens and in your 20s when you're starting this journey of self-development is becoming your best self. And that will evolve over time, and the goalposts are always moving. Understand, you do not just become your best self and that is it. It is a day-to-day shift from what your best self is today versus what your best self is tomorrow, and your goal is to continue to pursue and get closer and closer in closing that gap between who you're capable of being versus who you're actually being. And so, leaving this video, what I need you to do, if you feel called, and if you want to have goals that are meaningful, and if you want to actually go and achieve these things, and you want to become the best version of yourself, then I would ask you to start with making the goal to become my best self. Now, how do we do that? I'm gonna give you the synopsis here, and then we can get into it deeper on other videos. Number 1, get in the gym. It all starts with the physical realm, okay? You need to dial in your body. You need to understand that everything flows through the body. If the body is not dialed in, it becomes really hard to get your mind right, to get your soul aligned, and to have your heart open, okay? So go to the gym. Get in the best shape as possible. Work towards becoming the best shape as possible. I don't know where you're at right now, and it doesn't matter, frankly. Everyone starts somewhere, whether you're starting super skinny, whether you're starting overweight, or you're starting in the middle, it does not matter. It just matters that you start progressing towards it. So getting into the gym is really important. You will start to build discipline, and you will start to work on the mind through the body. I always say the body is the gateway drug to self-mastery and self-development, because it opens the door to bigger and bigger ambitions, because you give yourself the evidence that you have the discipline and consistency, and you can trust yourself to do something meaningful. You have the physical evidence that if I went from version 1 of myself, skinny, overweight, wherever you were, to transforming yourself into gaining the muscle, losing the fat, and it was you that did it. No one else can do that. That's the cool thing about the body. No one can buy a six-pack, okay? You can buy implants, but no one can buy a six-pack. No one can remove the fat off their body naturally. No one can spend any amount of money to do that. You have to do it yourself, and that is the most powerful part of starting in the gym. Getting in good shape, eating properly, learning how to cook, learning what nutritious food is that is gonna energize you and keep a clear mind. Because when you do that, you have undeniable proof that you can do something meaningful, arguably the most meaningful thing that you can do as a human, in a human body. So start with your body. Get in great shape. And to set some expectations, It does not come in 60 days. It does not come in 90 days. It does not, definitely not come in 30 days. You can see some really good progress, especially if you have a bunch of fat to lose in the first couple weeks. But to get in great shape, okay, if you were to check out my Instagram, you can get a sense of the shape I'm in. I've been going to the gym now for 12 years. And I got to kind of like the base level of where my physique is in about 4 years. Okay, I put on about 50 pounds of muscle, all right? I have visible abs, and I started from very, very, very skinny beginnings. So muscle takes time, but it is a lifelong pursuit. I plan on keeping this physique, and I plan on being a life athlete for life. And that is the starting point. But in the pursuit of that, it opened my mind to so much more. It gave me, again, the confidence and belief and the self-trust in myself that I'm capable of doing more. And so while getting into the shape that I'm in right now may take years, and you should pursue it, and that should not scare you, the thing that you get within the first 30, 60, 90, 365 days is the confidence and the discipline and the consistency that comes along with going to the gym, working hard, following a meal plan, and eating energizing food. So start with the body. Now, if we were to look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is what the entire premise of Actualize is based off of, the next thing we need to do is figure out financial security. Pending you're, in a safe place within, your physical surroundings. And if you're not, then, financial security still has to solve for this. So once we have the body dialed in and we are thriving there, we need to get the money dialed in. Now, this is back to the idea of like, hey, if to set the goal that, hey, I'm gonna go become a millionaire per se, is something that is meaningful to you. It likely isn't. What is meaningful is that I don't have financial security, and hence I need to start to figure out how to make money so I can get out of my situation, okay? So once you start to pursue that and you get just a bit above financial security, you'll stop seeing becoming a millionaire as something super meaningful to you unless there's a deeper reason. However, financial security is very important. You need to have the ability to spend money to allow you to move around and make your own choices, or else you'll always feel in a place of lack, in a place of scarcity, and that does not allow you to ascend into the best version of yourself. So go and get a job. Now, the question is, well, what kind of job do I get, and what kind of skills should I go after? Now, I'm not a business coach or someone that talks about this a ton, but what I am is a self-actualization coach, if you want to put me in that. But really, I'm just a self-actualization enthusiast. I shouldn't even call myself a coach in that manner. I just study this stuff at a deep level. And one thing that keeps coming up for me when I think of financial security is 3 core skills. Number 1, sales. Sales is the fastest way to earn an amazing living with no college degree, no university degree, nothing of that sort. You just need to be able to speak and have clear communication. Now, there's going to be a bucket of you that is afraid of sales and will get closed off to the idea. And if that's you, all good. I have other options for you. But there's going to be another group of you that gets excited by the idea of commission only. Because the beautiful thing about sales is it's result-based. The harder you work, the more you get dialed in, the better you become. The more you earn. So sales is my number 1 recommended path for young guys to quickly earn $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month. And the best part is, in today's world, travel anywhere in the world. So why wouldn't you get into sales if you are open to learning the skills, if you're open to communication and building that? And I think it is one of the most transferable and applicable skill sets in the world, communication. We all got to communicate. So that's number 1. If that is not you, my second best option is going to be code. And when it comes to code, what are you doing? You're building software. Okay, software literally runs the world right now. AI runs the world. That is the hottest place to be. And so if you're not selling AI, if you're not selling software, you should be creating the software. Okay, learn how to code. You don't need high EQ, you don't need communication skills. You can be an absolute nerd, you can be a mute, okay? But you can make stupidly good money. I don't know if you saw, but the top AI engineers and thinkers in the world are being bid like literally hundreds of millions of dollars to go and work at these top AI firms and platforms like Meta and OpenAI, just to work there, not even to run a business, not even to sell a business, hundreds of millions of dollars. It's absolutely insane. And so code and learning how to code, learning how to build things with tech, with AI is hot. And I would highly recommend that you go and learn how to code if you're not going to be someone that goes into sales. Naval talks about this. There's two things you need to learn how to do. You need to learn how to sell, you need to learn how to build. If you can do both, you become unstoppable. Something to consider. Last piece, if sales isn't for you, if coding isn't for you, the last one that I would recommend is media. Learn how to pick up a camera and use it, whether that's photos, videos, content creation, your phone, short form, long form, editing, like anything to do with content creation and building brand via media is one of the highest leverage skill sets that you can have, and people are starting to pay more and more and more money for that as more and more people become online and dependent on social media and these online platforms to figure out where the next brand is, where the next deal is, etc. And so media is the other category. So sales, code, or media, those are one of the three paths that you must choose if you want to get financial security the fastest. Without going to school, without a 4-year degree, without getting into a bunch of debt, you do not need a degree in any of those to start making incredible money. You just need a little bit of hard work and focus to build the initial skill set in which you can do completely online on YouTube with a course for $1,000, etc. But financial security is the next path that you want to go down once you start getting your body right. And of course, if you're like really, really broke, then you're obviously going to start there and then get the body right. But pending you're already making a couple $1,000s, but you want to go to the next level, you want to start living on your own, you want to start having more autonomy and agency, then of course you need to level yourself up. Start there, and then you'll have the freedom to go and travel, to go and try different things, to be able to expand the amount of time you can devote to different skills, industries, etc. Maybe join communities like Actualize and expand your thinking because you have the discretionary income. But those are the two places you got to start. You got to get the second level of the hierarchy checked off, which is security. And that shows up in your body, that shows up with your bank account, and then the world is ready for a meaningful goal for you to tackle for the rest of your life. So I'll leave you with that. Get meaningful goals. How you do that is explore, expand your awareness, expand what you know, what you've tried, what you see that is relevant to you. And until then, what you need to do is just pursue the best version of yourself. How do you do that? You start with the body, and you start with having great income to support you and get out of the scarcity mindset and into the abundant mindset, and the world will open doors for you left, right, and center. Hopefully this was helpful for you, brother, on wherever you're at in your self-actualization journey. If you're looking for more, check me out on Instagram, and if you want to join a group of guys that are doing exactly that, stepping into the best version of themselves, apply to join the tribe inside of Actualize, link down below, and I will see you in the next one.